Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Naresh Magho, and with me is Prashant Kumar Sinha with the Midday News. The headlines. India objects to WHO's methodology of calculating COVID-19 deaths in the country. Prime Minister of Mauritius, Pravind Kumar Jagannath, arrives in Mumbai on an 8-day visit to India. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur inaugurates 40th edition of Hunar Haat in Mumbai today. 14 persons arrested in connection with yesterday's violence in Jahangirpuri in Delhi. Easter being celebrated across the globe today. 5 people of Bihu troop killed in a road accident in northern Assam. Prime Minister expresses sadness at the loss of lives. In Santosh Trophy football today, Odisha to take on Karnataka at the Kottapadi Stadium at 4 p.m. while Manipur meets services at the Payanad Stadium at 8 p.m. And in IPL cricket, Sunrisers Hyderabad to face Punjab Kings at 3:30 p.m. in Mumbai and Gujarat Titans to clash with Chennai Super Kings at 7:30 p.m. in Pune. India has objected to the World Health Organization WHO's methodology for calculating the COVID-19 death toll. In response to an article titled, "India is stalling the WHO's efforts to make global COVID death toll public," published by a US daily, the Union Health Ministry said New Delhi has been in regular and in-depth technical exchange with the WHO on the issue of collecting and making public the COVID-19 death toll in the country. He said the analysis, while using mortality figures directly obtained from the Tier 1 set of countries, uses a mathematical modeling process for Tier 2 countries, which includes India. The ministry added that India's basic objection has not been with the result, but rather the methodology adopted for the same. It also said India has shared its concerns with the methodology along with other member states through a series of formal communications, including 6 letters issued to the WHO. During these exchanges, specific queries have been raised by India along with other member states regarding the methodology and use of unofficial sets of data. The ministry elaborated that the concern specifically includes how the statistical model projects estimates for a country of geographical size and population of India and also fits in with other countries which have smaller populations. The WHO is yet to share the confidence interval for the present statistical model across various countries. It also said the model gives 2 highly different sets of excess mortality estimates of when using the data from the Tier 1 countries and when using unverified data from 18 Indian states. Such wide variation in estimates raises concerns about the validity and accuracy of such a modeling exercise. India has asserted that if the model is accurate and reliable, it should be authenticated by running it for all Tier 1 countries, and the result of such an exercise may be shared with all member states. The Health Ministry said, while India has remained open to collaborating with WHO, as data sets like these will be helpful from the policy-making point of view, the country believes that in-depth clarity on methodology and clear proof of its validity are crucial for policymakers to feel confident about any use of such data. It added that it is very surprising that while the newspaper purportedly could obtain the alleged figures of excess COVID-19 mortality in respect to India, it was unable to learn the estimates for other countries. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be on a 3-day visit to Gujarat beginning tomorrow. Mr. Modi will visit the Command and Control Center for Schools in Gandhinagar tomorrow. The center collects over 500 crore data sets annually and analyzes them meaningfully using big data analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to enhance the overall learning outcomes for students. On Tuesday, the Prime Minister will dedicate to the nation and lay the foundation stone of multiple development projects at Banas Dairy Sankul in Diodar, Banaskantha. He will also lay the foundation stone of the WHO Global Center for Traditional Medicine in Jamnagar. On Wednesday, the Prime Minister will inaugurate the Global Ayush Investment and Innovation Summit at Gandhinagar.
Prime Minister of Mauritius, Pravind Kumar Jagannath, arrived in Mumbai this morning on an 8-day visit to India from today till the 24th of April. Mr. Jagannath is visiting India at the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He is accompanied by his spouse Kobita Jagannath and a high-level delegation. The visiting dignitary will participate in the groundbreaking ceremony of the WHO Global Centre for Traditional Medicine in Jamnagar on the 19th of April and the Global Ayush Investment and Innovation Summit at Gandhinagar on the 20th of April along with the Prime Minister of India. Apart from official engagements in Gujarat and New Delhi, the Prime Minister of Mauritius will also visit Varanasi during the visit. Our correspondent reports that high-level visits have been one of the significant aspects of bilateral relations of India and Mauritius.
Mauritius Prime Minister Pravind Jugnauth visited India in May 2019 to attend the swearing-in ceremony of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Prime Minister Jugnauth was also the chief guest at the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas 2019. India is one of the largest trading partners and exporters of goods and services to Mauritius. From 1820s, Indian workers started coming to Mauritius to work on sugar plantations. There are nearly 10,000 Indian nationals in Mauritius. A special carve-out for OCI cards only for Mauritius without any restriction on the number of generations was announced during the 14th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas in January 2017. Mauritius introduced a visa-free regime for Indian tourists in October 2004. Under this, Indian tourists visiting Mauritius for a period up to 30 days do not require a visa. Suparna Sayya, AIR News, Delhi.
Talking to AIR News, former Ambassador Ashok Sachanhar said that the visit will improve bilateral relations between the two nations.
I would like to say that this visit by the Honorable Prime Minister of Mauritius to India is extremely significant, extremely important, and also very timely. Both India and Mauritius are very close and strong partners. There is a huge Indian diaspora which has gone from India to Mauritius. The people have been taken by the Britishers there, and they have made Mauritius their home, and they have contributed very significantly to the economy, to the life, to the prosperity of that country, and also have played a very significant role in strengthening relations, bilateral ties between India and Mauritius. And I'm confident that the visit of the Prime Minister of Mauritius will provide a further impetus and a boost to our multifaceted partnership.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson will pay a 2-day visit to India on the 21st of this month. This will be his maiden visit to India as Prime Minister of the UK. Prime Minister Johnson will be accorded a ceremonial welcome at Rashtrapati Bhavan. He will hold bilateral consultations with Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the 22nd of April. Besides official engagements in New Delhi, Mr. Johnson will also visit Gujarat. Ahead of his India visit, Boris Johnson said his visit to India will deliver on the things that really matter to the people of both nations. In details released late on Saturday, Mr. Johnson's office said the British leader would use his trip to India to deepen relations, including in-depth talks with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the two nations' strategic defence, diplomatic and economic partnership. The British Prime Minister said India, as a major economic power and the world's largest democracy, is a highly valued strategic partner for the UK in these uncertain times. Mr. Johnson said in view of the threats to global peace and prosperity from autocratic states, it is vital that democracies and friends stick together. Mr. Johnson's trip will also include a visit to Gujarat on Thursday, where he is expected to announce a major investment in key industries in the UK and India, as well as new collaboration on science, health and technology. India and the United Kingdom enjoy a long and historical relationship which was elevated to a comprehensive strategic partnership during the India-UK Virtual Summit last year. The Prime Ministers will review implementation of the Roadmap 2030 and set their vision for further intensifying cooperation across the full spectrum of bilateral ties. They will also exchange views on regional and global issues of mutual interest.
Delhi police has arrested 14 persons in connection with the Jahangirpuri violence. One of the accused who opened fire has also been arrested. Delhi police said the pistol used in the commission of the crime has been recovered from his possession. Further investigation is in progress. In order to maintain peace and tranquility in the area, a meeting was organized by DCP Northwest with the members of Aman committees of Jahangirpuri, Mahendra Park and Adarsh Nagar police stations. All members were asked to appeal to the public in their areas to maintain peace, harmony and tranquility. They were also requested to counter any rumor or misinformation, be vigilant towards the activities of any mischievous elements, and keep in touch with the police. Earlier, Delhi Police Commissioner Rakesh Asthana said in a tweet that the situation is under control in the area. He said adequate additional force has been deployed in Jahangirpuri and other sensitive areas. He said senior officers of Delhi Police have been asked to remain in field and closely supervise the law and order situation and undertake patrolling. Over 186 crore 51 lakh doses of COVID vaccine have been administered in the country under the nationwide vaccination drive so far. The Union Health and Family Welfare Ministry today said more than 12,56,000 COVID vaccine doses were administered to eligible beneficiaries yesterday. The country has reported over 1,100 new COVID cases in the last 24 hours. In the same period, 954 COVID patients have recovered and the national recovery rate stands at 98.76%.
Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia yesterday virtually launched e-Sanjeevani teleconsultation facility at 1 lakh Ayushman Bharat Health and Wellness Centres on the 4th anniversary of their establishment. Speaking on the occasion, Dr. Mandavia said now common citizens will also be able to take advice from senior doctors of the country through e-Sanjeevani teleconsultation facility.
टेली कंसल्टेशन को जितना हम सक्सेस करेंगे इतना हेल्थ केयर एक्सेस होगी। दूर सुदूर गरीब या तो गांव में रहने वाले लोग उसको डिस्ट्रिक्ट हेडक्वार्टर्स तक पहुंचना, उसमें उसका समय भी जाता है, खर्च भी होता है। ऐसी स्थिति में प्रधानमंत्री जी ने हेल्थ एंड वेलनेस सेंटर को स्पोक के रूप में और डिस्ट्रिक्ट हॉस्पिटल को हब के रूप में विकसित करने के लिए जो इनिशिएटिव लिया है, मुझे लगता है कि आने वाले दिनों में एक बहुत बड़ा रिवोल्यूशन लाएंगे हेल्थ केयर सेक्टर में।
The minister said health fairs will be organized in every block of the country from tomorrow till the 23rd of April. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. India objects to WHO's methodology of calculating COVID-19 deaths in the country. Prime Minister of Mauritius, Pravind Kumar Jagannath, arrives in Mumbai on an 8-day visit to India. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur inaugurates 40th edition of Hunar Haat in Mumbai today. 14 persons arrested in connection with yesterday's violence in Jahangirpuri in Delhi. Easter being celebrated across the globe today. 5 people of a Bihu troupe killed in a road accident in northern Assam. Prime Minister expresses sadness at the loss of lives. In Santosh Trophy football today, Odisha to take on Karnataka at the Kottapadi Stadium at 4 p.m. while Manipur meets services at the Payanath Stadium at 8 p.m. And in IPL cricket, Sunrisers Hyderabad to face Punjab Kings at 3:30 p.m. in Mumbai and Gujarat Titans to clash with Chennai Super Kings at 7:30 p.m. in Pune. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। इस बार का विषय है इकोनॉमिक्स। सवाल भेजने की अंतिम तारीख है 20 अप्रैल। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur today said that through the central government's Tejas program, 30,000 skilled manpower will be sent to the United Arab Emirates in the coming days. Addressing the gathering after inaugurating the Hunar Haat in Mumbai, Mr. Thakur urged artisans and craftsmen to launch their products on OTT platforms which would help them in sending their products to foreign markets. Mr. Thakur said Hunar Haat is giving further impetus to vocal for local. He recalled that Prime Minister Narendra Modi had asked to find opportunity in crisis and added that Hunar Haat is furthering the goal of Atmanirbhar Bharat. The minister said in the last few years, since the launch of Hunar Haat in 2016, 9 lakh jobs have been generated for craftsmen and artisans from the rural parts of the country.
2016 से यात्रा शुरू हुई थी। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने ही पहला हुनर हाट का उद्घाटन किया था। मोदी जी जब एक से दूसरे स्टॉल पर जाते थे तो किस राज्य के किस प्रोडक्ट के बारे में जानकारी जो देश के लोगों में नहीं होती थी वो भी अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर तक पहुंचाने का काम किया है। तो नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने वो करने का काम किया है और जिस स्टॉल पर बैठकर उन्होंने खाना खाया वो अपने आप में एक ऐसा केंद्र का बिंदु बन गया कि अगले दिनों में लोग वही स्टॉल ढूंढते फिरते थे कि हमें भी वहीं जाकर खाना खाना, वहीं पर फोटो खिंचवानी है। एक प्रयास से और पूरे दिल से काम करने से अगर सोच अच्छी हो, दिशा सही दी हो और काम करने वाला नेता उसके आगे अच्छा हो तो दुनिया की ताकत उसको नहीं रोक सकती। आप जैसे हुनर वाले के हुनर को कोई अब रोक नहीं सकता है मेरे भाई और बहन।
The INB minister also asked Minority Affairs Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi to invite students from private and government schools from Mumbai to see the live demonstrations of Best from Waste in the ongoing Hunar Haat. He says students will get a first-hand experience of what best can be made from the waste. He further said, in the next 35 programs of Hunar Haat, lakhs of youth can be trained. Minority Affairs Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi said, the Hunar Haat depicts the quintessence of Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat.
लगभग 7 सालों के अंदर 9 लाख से ज्यादा रोजगार और रोजगार के अवसर हुनर हाट के माध्यम से इन दस्तकारों, शिल्पकारों, कारीगरों, कलाकारों और उनसे जुड़े हुए लोगों को मिली है। मुंबई के इस हुनर हाट के प्रांगण में अगर आप एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत का अनुभव करना चाहें आपको मिलेगा। आपको जो है इस हुनर हाट के प्रांगण में अनेकता में एकता का एहसास होगा और हमारे देश की अलग अलग कश्मीर से लेकर कन्याकुमारी तक, कच्छ से लेकर कटक तक की जो संस्कृति है, जो कला है, जो कौशल है उसका एहसास होगा।
Union Minister Piyush Goyal has said that India's vaccination rate is more than any developed nation and the highest in the world. He was speaking at the book launch of A Nation to Protect by author Priyam Gandhi Modi in Mumbai yesterday. Mr. Goyal said every Indian should take pride in the fact that India stands number 1 in vaccination rate in the world. At the event, a discussion was held between Union Minister Goyal, Maharashtra's Leader of Opposition Devendra Fadnavis and author Priyam Gandhi on the efforts of Prime Minister Narendra Modi during the pandemic.
5 people of a Bihu troop were killed on the spot while 7 others were injured in a road accident in northern Assam's Bishwanath district in the wee hours today. The incident took place on National Highway 15 as the driver lost control over the vehicle and it overturned. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed sadness at the loss of lives in the road accident. In a tweet, he expressed his condolences to the families of those who lost their lives and prayed for the speedy recovery of those injured. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tributes to former Prime Minister Chandrasekhar on his birth anniversary today. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said Chandrasekhar was a towering personality who was widely admired for his commitment to democratic values and efforts to remove poverty. He said the former Prime Minister always worked for the welfare of the downtrodden and the marginalized.
Easter is being celebrated across the globe today. It signifies the resurrection of Jesus Christ after his crucifixion and death at Calvary on Good Friday. The resurrection was announced at the stroke of midnight at churches and special prayers were held on the occasion. Reports of Easter celebrations have been received from different parts of the country and abroad. Special masses are being held at churches to mark the day. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have greeted the people on the occasion. In a message, Mr. Kovind said, Easter inspires all people to follow the path of love, sacrifice and forgiveness. The Vice President said that Easter reminds the people that love is stronger than hatred and that virtue will always win over evil. Mr. Modi said, we recall the thoughts and ideals of Jesus Christ and the emphasis on social justice as well as compassion. He wished that the spirit of joy and brotherhood be furthered in the society. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion as a Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in Morning News. The next question of the quiz will be shared with the listeners tomorrow. And now, let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव। Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember freedom fighter Valangaiman Sankaranarayana Srinivasa Shastri, who died on the 17th of April 1946. A member of the Servants of India Society, Shastri also served as a member of the Indian National Congress from 1908 to 1922.
Shastri was born on 22nd of September 1869 in Tanjavur district, Tamil Nadu. He met Gopal Krishna Gokhale for the first time in 1906 and was drawn towards Gokhale Servants of India Society. He joined the organization, becoming its president in 1915. He joined the Indian National Congress in 1908 and became the secretary of the Madras District Congress Committee in 1911.
Shastri served as a member of the Madras Legislative Council from 1913 to 1916, the Imperial Legislative Council of India from 1916 to 1919, and the Council of State from 1920 to 1925. He opposed the Rowlatt Act and delivered a well-appreciated speech in the Imperial Legislative Council denouncing the bill.
Shastri also functioned as India's delegate to the League of Nations and as member of the Privy Council of the United Kingdom and an agent to the Union of South Africa. In 1924, he accompanied Annie Besant on a visit to England demanding Home Rule for India.
Shastri was also a close friend and associate of Mahatma Gandhi, who addressed Shastri as his elder brother in writings.
During 1930 to 31, he participated in the roundtable conferences in London to discuss India's future and was instrumental in bringing about the Gandhi-Irwin Pact. He strongly opposed Muslim League demands for the partition of India. On Shastri's death, Gandhiji paid a tribute to Shastri in a condolence message in the Harijan, saying that,
"Death has removed not only from us, but from the world, one of India's best sons."
We salute the great Indian. We also remember Gandhian freedom fighter and writer Nityananda Mohapatra, who died on 17th of April 2012.
Nityananda was imprisoned 3 times by the British between 1930 and 1942 for nationalist activities. Some of his early writings, such as the poem Swarajyapala and short story Mausi, were banned by the British. After independence, he joined electoral politics and was in the Odisha Assembly from 1957 to 1971. He was the Minister of State for Supply and Cultural Affairs from 1967 to 1971.
Son of celebrated Odia poet Kanto Kobi Lakshmikanta Mohapatra, Nityananda came to literary prominence as editor of Odia magazine Dagara and as a short story writer after independence. Till his death, Nityananda continued to work for the betterment of the nation. We salute the great nationalist.
বারুদ ভরা স্বপ্ন বুকে স্বাধীন হবে দেশ রে।
We also remember revolutionary freedom fighter Anurup Sen, who died on the 17th of April 1924. A resident of Chittagong, now in Bangladesh, Anurup Sen was involved with various revolutionary parties. He was detained for participating in the non-cooperation movement. Anurup was one of the five, along with Surya Sen, Nagin Sen, Ambika Chakraborty and Charu Bikash Datta, to form the core of the initial Chittagong revolutionary group. He was arrested in the Dakshineshwar bomb conspiracy and died in internment in Varanasi on the 17th of April 1924. We salute the great son of the soil. That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
आजादी के आंदोलन के खजाने में ऐसे ढेरों शब्द जिन्होंने बदल दिए इतिहास, तारीख बदलने वाले लफ्जों पर आकाशवाणी समाचार प्रसारित कर रहा है विशेष कार्यक्रम धरोहर हर सोमवार।
Today is the birth anniversary of Dhiran Chinnamalai, a Tamil freedom fighter who fought against the British East India Company. Here is a desk report.
Dhiran Chinnamalai was born on April 17, 1756, in the present-day Kangayam in Tamil Nadu to a noble family. He was one of the commanders in the Polygar Wars, notably during the Second Polygar War that took place in 1801-1802. After the deaths of Kattabomman and Tippu Sultan in 1799, Chinnamalai sought the help of Marudu Pandiyar and led the local Patakarar Polygars to attack the British at Coimbatore in 1800. His army was defeated and he escaped from the British forces. Later, Chinnamalai engaged in guerrilla warfare and defeated the British in battles at Kaveri in 1801, Odanilai Kangayam in 1802 and Arachalur in 1804. Chinnamalai was betrayed by his cook and was captured by the British in 1805 and was hanged at Sangagiri Fort along with his two brothers. Ravi Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
In the Santosh Trophy football today, Odisha will take on Karnataka at the Kottapadi Football Stadium at 4 p.m, while Manipur takes on defending champion Services at the Payanad Stadium at Munjeri at 8 p.m. On the inaugural day yesterday, host Kerala began its first outing with a bang, convincingly trouncing Rajasthan 5-0 at the Payanad Stadium. In the opening match, West Bengal beat Punjab 1-0 at the Kottapadi Stadium. Moving on to IPL cricket, Sunrisers Hyderabad will take on Punjab Kings at 3:30 p.m. at the D.Y. Patil Stadium in Navi Mumbai, while Gujarat Titans will lock horns with Chennai Super Kings at the Maharashtra Cricket Association Stadium at Pune at 7:30 p.m. Last night, Royal Challengers Bangalore beat Delhi Capitals by 16 runs at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai, and in an earlier match, Lucknow Super Giants defeated Mumbai Indians by 18 runs at Brabourne Stadium.
In Kerala, isolated heavy rain accompanied by lightning and thunderstorm is likely to continue till Wednesday. The Met Department has forecast rainfall in the range of 64.5 to 115.5 millimeters across the state for the next 5 days. The high-range districts of Pathanamthitta, Idukki and Wayanad have been placed under yellow alert today. The pre-monsoon showers have caused huge crop loss and destruction to properties in several parts of Kerala in recent days. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India objects to WHO's methodology of calculating COVID-19 deaths in the country. Prime Minister of Mauritius, Pravind Kumar Jagannath, arrives in Mumbai on an 8-day visit to India. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur inaugurates 40th edition of Hunar Haat in Mumbai today. 14 persons arrested in connection with yesterday's violence in Jahangirpuri in Delhi. Easter being celebrated across the globe today. 5 people of a Bihu troop killed in a road accident in northern Assam. Prime Minister expresses sadness with the loss of lives. In Santosh Trophy football, today Odisha take on Karnataka at the Kottapadi Stadium at 4 p.m, while Manipur meet Services at Payanad Stadium at 8 p.m. And in IPL cricket, Sunrisers Hyderabad to face Punjab Kings at 3:30 p.m. in Mumbai, and Gujarat Titans to clash with Chennai Super Kings at 7:30 p.m. in Pune. And with that, we end the midday news.